5 years. That was how long Ryan Miller had stood beside Commander Olivia Carter. 5 years. Every mission, every briefing, every dangerous night. He was always there. But today, he was leaving. Commander Carter. The office became silent. Olivia didn't look up from the documents in her hand. Speak. Ryan stood straight. The same posture he had maintained for 5 years. Calm, respectful, professional. I submitted my resignation. The pen in Olivia's hand stopped only for half a second, then continued moving. Reason? Ryan answered calmly. I want to get married. Silence. Complete silence. The commander of the Elite Special Operations Unit finally looked up. Olivia Carter was known as the coldest commander in the military. 32 years old, the youngest female commander in the division, a genius strategist, a person who could walk into a battlefield without changing expression. Her soldiers respected her, her enemies feared her, her emotions. Almost nobody had ever seen, including Ryan, especially Ryan. Married? Olivia repeated the word. Ryan nodded. Yes. To whom? He smiled faintly. I don't know yet. That answer made her frown. You don't know? No. Then why resign? Ryan looked at her. Because I want a life outside this uniform for 5 years. He had lived according to her schedule. Wake up before her. Prepare mission files. Check equipment. Wait outside her office. Be the person she called whenever she needed someone. But never once had she asked, "What do you want?" Olivia lowered her eyes. You are one of my best soldiers. Thank you. Your position can be transferred. I know you can take a vacation. I know. Then why leave? Ryan was quiet. Because the answer was simple. Too simple. Because I am tired. The words surprised her. Tired? He nodded. Yes. Of what? Ryan looked at the medals on her wall, then at her. Of always being the person behind you. For the first time, Olivia didn't immediately respond. 5 years ago, Ryan was just a new recruit. Everyone knew Commander Carter was difficult, cold, strict, impossible to approach. On his first day, another soldier warned him. Don't try to make conversation with her. Why? Because she doesn't need friends. Ryan laughed. Everyone needs someone. The soldier shook his head, not her. He was wrong. Ryan was the first person who noticed that Olivia skipped meals. That she stayed awake all night before missions. That she pretended injuries didn't hurt, that she never celebrated victories because she always moved directly to the next responsibility. Everyone saw a commander. Ryan saw a woman carrying too much alone. The first time he brought her coffee, she frowned. I didn't ask for this. I know. Then why? You look tired. I don't get tired. Ryan smiled. Everyone does. She stared at him, then took the coffee. That was the first time she accepted something from someone. Back in the office, Olivia placed the pen down. When do you leave? Next month. So soon? Ryan noticed her reaction only for a moment, but he noticed. Yes. She looked away. You've already decided. Yes. Can I change your mind? Ryan was surprised. Because in 5 years, Olivia Carter had never asked anyone to stay. No. The answer was gentle but firm. That night, the entire unit heard the news. Ryan Miller was resigning. The reactions were immediate. You? Why? You're the commander's right hand. Ryan smiled. That's exactly why. One soldier laughed. You know what's funny? What? We all thought Commander Carter would never care if someone left. Ryan looked down. She won't. They were wrong. At midnight, Olivia was still in her office. The lights were on. The documents were untouched. Her eyes kept moving toward the empty chair beside her desk. Ryan's chair for 5 years. He had sat there, waiting, ready, always available. She had never thought about what would happen when that chair was empty until now. Her phone lit up. A message from Ryan. Commander, the updated mission report has been sent. Also, don't forget dinner. You skipped it again. Olivia stared at the message. Even after resigning, he still reminded her. Her fingers hovered over the keyboard. She typed, "You don't need to worry about me anymore." She looked at the sentence, then deleted it. Instead, she typed, "Why?" Ryan replied almost immediately, "Why?" "What?" She stared at the screen. "Why do you care? Why are you leaving? Why does the thought of you not being here feel wrong?" But she couldn't type any of those. After several minutes, she finally said, "Why do you want to find a wife?" The reply came quickly, "Because I want someone who chooses me." Olivia froze. For 5 years, Ryan had chosen her. Every day, every mission, every difficult moment, and she had always assumed he would always be there. The next morning, Ryan arrived to submit his final documents. He placed the folder on her desk. "Commander." She looked at him for the first time in 5 years. Her eyes were not cold. They were uncertain. "Ryan." "Yes." She opened her mouth, then stopped. A sentence she had never imagined saying. Suddenly felt impossible to hold back. Finally, she whispered, "If you want a wife." Ryan looked at her. "Yes." Her fingers tightened slightly. Her voice became softer. "Why not me?" Ryan thought he had heard wrong. The office was too quiet. Maybe he misunderstood. Because there was no way Commander Olivia Carter had just asked him, "Why not me?" The woman who had faced enemy fire without blinking. The woman who had never asked anyone for anything was asking him why he wouldn't choose her. Commander Ryan's voice was careful. "Did I misunderstand?" Olivia immediately looked away for the first time. She seemed uncomfortable, not angry, not cold, just unsure. "No." Ryan froze. "No, you heard correctly." The answer shocked him even more. Olivia stood. She walked toward the window. The military base stretched outside. Soldiers training, vehicles moving. Everything was familiar. Except one thing. The idea that Ryan would no longer be part of it. "I have a question." Ryan stood straight. "Yes." "After you leave, what happens?" He frowned. "What do you mean? Who checks your equipment? Who reminds you to sleep? Who notices when you're injured?" Her voice became quieter. "Who waits for you?" Ryan looked at her. "Commander." She turned around. "Don't call me that." He was surprised. "Then what should I call you?" For 5 years. Everyone called her Commander. Even people close to her. Nobody used her first name. Nobody dared. She hesitated, then whispered, "Olivia." Ryan's heartbeat changed because that wasn't an order. It was a request. "Olivia." The moment he said her name, something in her expression softened. Just slightly, but enough. 5 years. She looked at him. 5 years you've been beside me." "Yes." 5 years you knew everything about me." "Yes, but she stopped. The words were difficult. "I never asked about you." Ryan remained silent because she was right. She knew his coffee order, his shooting style, his strengths, his weaknesses in combat. But she didn't know his favorite food, his dreams, his plans after leaving. The small things, the normal things, the things couples knew. "Why didn't you tell me?" Ryan looked confused. "Tell you what? That you wanted someone? That you wanted a family? That you wanted someone to choose you?" His smile was gentle. "Because I knew." "Knew what?" "You were my commander." She frowned. So I couldn't ask my commander to love me." Silence. Those words hurt more than she expected because suddenly Olivia understood Ryan hadn't been waiting for her. He had been protecting her even from his own feelings. That afternoon, the news spread through the entire unit. Ryan was leaving, and Commander Carter had personally asked him to stay. Nobody believed it. In the training area, Captain James stared at Ryan. "Wait, she actually said that?" Ryan sighed. "Yes. The commander." "Yes, the commander who rejected a general's dinner invitation." Ryan nodded. "The same one." James looked at the sky. "The world is ending." Ryan laughed. "Probably. But nobody knew." Olivia had heard everything. She was standing outside the training room. And for once, she didn't correct anyone because they were right. She had changed. That evening, Ryan found a small box on his desk. No name, no explanation. Inside was a new watch. Simple, elegant, expensive. He immediately knew who sent it. He walked to Olivia's office. "Commander." She looked up. "Olivia." He corrected himself. A tiny smile appeared. "Good." He held up the box. "What is this?" A gift? Why? Because your old watch is broken. Ryan looked surprised. You noticed? I noticed everything about you. The words came out naturally. Then she froze. Because she realized she had just admitted something. Ryan looked at her. Olivia. Do you know why I wanted to leave? She nodded. To find a wife. Yes. Do you still? He was quiet. The honest answer was complicated because the woman in front of him was the reason he wanted to stay and the reason he believed he had to leave. I don't know. For the first time, Olivia looked hurt only for a second. But Ryan saw it. I don't know if I can. She lowered her eyes. Because after 5 years, I don't know if you want me. She looked up. Ryan, I know you care about me, but caring isn't enough. You need to choose me. Those words stayed with her all night. The next morning, something happened that shocked the entire base. Commander Olivia Carter arrived late. Not because she overslept, not because of an emergency, because she was waiting for Ryan. Everyone noticed. The cold commander, who was always first to arrive, was standing at the gate, waiting. When Ryan arrived, he stopped. You're waiting for me? She nodded. Yes. Why? She looked at him seriously. Because you spent 5 years waiting for me and I think it's my turn. Ryan couldn't answer. She handed him a coffee. His usual order. No sugar. No milk. Exactly right. He stared at it. You remembered. I always did, but you never said anything. She looked at him. I was wrong. A commander admitting she was wrong. Was almost unbelievable. Ryan. Yes. I don't know how to do this. Do what? Love someone. The honesty surprised him. I know how to lead. I know how to fight. I know how to protect people. But she looked down. I don't know how to ask someone to stay. Ryan's expression softened. Olivia. She looked up. You don't need to ask. Why? Because. He smiled. I never really wanted to leave you. For a moment, neither of them spoke. Then Olivia did something no one in the entire military base had ever seen. She smiled, a real smile, and quietly said, then don't. Ryan looked at her. Is that an order? She shook her head. No, a request. And that was the first time Ryan realized the strongest woman he had ever known was also the person who trusted him enough to finally show weakness. Ryan stayed. That was the first surprise. The second surprise was that Commander Olivia Carter had no idea what to do next. For 5 years. She knew exactly what to do. Mission planning, tactical decisions, emergency responses, leadership. Everything had rules. Everything had procedures. Everything had a solution except Ryan. Ryan had no manual. 3 days after he withdrew his resignation, Olivia called him into her office. Ryan stood in front of her desk. Commander. She looked up immediately. Olivia. He smiled slightly. Right, she nodded. Better. A strange silence followed. Finally, she said, I need advice. Ryan blinked. Advice? Yes. From me? Yes. He almost laughed. What about? Olivia looked unusually serious. How do I? She paused. Be someone's girlfriend? Ryan stared. The woman who commanded hundreds of soldiers was asking him how to date. Olivia, are you serious? She nodded completely. He tried not to smile. Why ask me? Because I want to do it correctly. That answer made him laugh. You are treating dating like a mission. She frowned. Is that bad? No. He smiled. It's actually very cute. For a second. The Ice Queen commander looked embarrassed. The first attempt happened the next day. Ryan arrived at the base. Usually, Olivia was already waiting in the command room. Today. She was waiting outside with coffee and breakfast. Ryan stopped. Is this? She nodded. Breakfast for me? Yes. He looked at the meal then at her. You made this? She immediately answered. No. Ryan smiled. Honest. I ordered it. That's fine. She looked relieved. Good. Then she added seriously. But I researched what you like. Ryan looked surprised. You researched? She nodded. You skip breakfast. You drink coffee without sugar. You like eggs but dislike overly cooked ones. Ryan stared. You really researched. I told you. She looked confident. I noticed everything about you. The problem was she noticed everything except normal romance. That afternoon, Ryan was helping new recruits train. Olivia stood nearby watching. One female soldier walked over. Commander, yes, Mr. Miller is very popular. Olivia looked confused. What does that mean? The soldier smiled. Many people like him. The expression on Olivia's face changed. Only slightly, but everyone nearby noticed. The temperature dropped. Ryan finished training, then walked over. What's wrong? Nothing, Olivia. She looked away. Someone said, many people like you. Ryan blinked. And I don't like it. He almost smiled. Are you jealous? No. Really? She paused, then honestly admitted a little. Ryan laughed. You admitted it. Should I not? No. He smiled. I like it. That evening, they walked around the base after work. No soldiers, no meetings, just them. For the first time, Olivia wasn't walking ahead. She was walking beside him. Ryan noticed. You changed. She looked at him. Ow. Before you always walked faster. I did. Yes. You had somewhere to go. She looked forward. And now she slowed her pace. I don't want you to follow me anymore. She looked at him. I want to walk with you. Ryan stopped. Those words meant more than she knew. Because for 5 years, he had followed her, protected her, supported her, but he had always been one step behind. Olivia. Yes, I have one condition. She immediately became serious. Tell me, don't treat this like another responsibility. She frowned. What do you mean? Don't date me because you feel guilty. Her expression changed. I don't. Don't stay because you need me. I don't. Then why? She looked at him and for once there was no commander, no title, no rank, only Olivia. Because when you said you were leaving, I realized something. What? I wasn't afraid of losing my best soldier. She stepped closer. I was afraid of losing the person who makes me feel like I am more than a commander. Ryan's heart tightened. The next morning, something unbelievable happened. Commander Olivia Carter made a mistake. A very obvious mistake. She walked into the briefing room holding Ryan's hand. The entire room froze. Captain James almost dropped his tablet. Commander Olivia looked over. Yes, your hand. She looked down, realized. Then instead of letting go, she held tighter. Problem? Nobody answered. After the meeting, James caught Ryan alone. I need answers. Ryan laughed. What? How did you do it? Do what? Make the commander hold your hand in public. Ryan smiled. I didn't. Then he looked toward Olivia's office. She chose to. That afternoon, Ryan received a message from Olivia. Are you free tonight? He smiled. Yes. A few seconds later. Good. I planned something. Ryan raised an eyebrow. A mission. The reply came immediately. A date? He stared, then smiled. Commander Carter planned a date. Another reply. Olivia, you said I should stop being your commander. I am trying. Ryan laughed. That evening, the date was simple. A small restaurant, a walk afterward. No expensive arrangements, no grand gestures, just two people talking. At the end of the night, Olivia looked at him. Ryan. Yes, I think I understand now. What? Why you wanted a wife? He smiled. Why? Because everyone needs someone. She held his hand. Who chooses them? Ryan looked at their joint hands, then at her. And now she smiled softly. Now I choose you. For the first time in 5 years, Ryan wasn't standing behind Commander Carter. He was standing beside Olivia and she finally realized that was where he had always belonged. 3 weeks passed and the entire military base was struggling to adjust. Not because of new missions, not because of new regulations, because of one unbelievable fact. Commander Olivia Carter was in love. Everyone knew. Even the soldiers who had never spoken to Ryan knew the signs were obvious. The woman who once spent 18 hours in the command center now remembered to leave on time. The woman who never took breaks now stopped meetings because Ryan hadn't eaten. The woman who hated distractions now smiled whenever her phone lit up. Captain James watched the scene from across the training field. Ryan was checking equipment for the recruits. Olivia stood nearby, not supervising, just watching him. James sighed. Unbelievable. A soldier beside him asked. What? The commander. What about her? She used to look at people like she was judging their entire life. And now, James pointed. Now she looks at Ryan like he's the only person on Earth. The soldier nodded. Honestly, that's scarier. Why? Because she is serious. That afternoon, a new colonel arrived at the base. Alexander Reed, a decorated officer, experienced, confident, and a little too confident. He had worked with Olivia years ago. The moment he saw Ryan beside her, his expression changed. Commander Carter. Olivia nodded. Colonel Reed. His eyes moved toward Ryan. And this is Ryan answered calmly. Ryan Miller. Reed smiled. I know. Then looked at Olivia. Still keeping your assistant around the air. Instantly changed. Ryan remained silent. He was used to it, but Olivia wasn't. Assistant. Her voice was cold. Reed smiled. Isn't he? He handles your schedule. Prepares your reports. Follows you everywhere. Sounds like an assistant. Before Ryan could respond, Olivia stepped forward. No. Everyone nearby became quiet. She looked directly at Reed. He is not my assistant. Reed raised an eyebrow. No. No. Then what is he? For years, Olivia would have avoided this question. She hated showing weakness. But not anymore. She looked at Ryan, then answered. He is the person I trust most. Silence. Complete silence. Reed laughed lightly. Commander, you're letting emotions affect judgment. Olivia's expression became colder. No, I am finally making a judgment without ignoring my emotions. The entire training field went silent because everyone knew. Commander Carter never explained herself to anyone. Reed looked at Ryan. Interesting. A soldier who became close to the commander. Some people are lucky. Ryan remained calm. But Olivia noticed. She always noticed the slight tightening of his jaw. The way he looked away. The way he pretended words didn't hurt. Enough. Colonel Reed. He turned. Yes. If you question Ryan's ability, submit an official evaluation request. If you question his character, choose your words carefully. Her voice became sharp. Because you are insulting the person who has saved my life more times than anyone here. Everyone froze. Saved her life. More times. Ryan looked at her. She had never told anyone. 5 years ago, a mission went wrong. Olivia was trapped inside a building. Ryan ignored orders. Went back. Pulled her out. He was injured. She survived. Afterward, she only said, "Good work," but nobody knew. She had sat outside his hospital room all night. Reed became quiet, then left. After he was gone, Ryan looked at Olivia. You didn't need to do that. She turned. Yes, I did. Why? Because you always did. Ryan froze. What? You defended me for 5 years. You stood beside me when everyone questioned me. You protected me when nobody saw. She stepped closer. So why shouldn't I do the same? Ryan smiled softly. You're changing. She looked at him. Bad? No. Good. Very. She looked away. I don't know how to do this. Do what? Be loved. The honesty surprised him. Ryan reached for her hand. You don't have to learn. No. No. He smiled. Just let me love you. That evening, something even more shocking happened. The commander left work early. Everyone noticed. James checked the time. 6 o'clock, the soldier beside him looked confused. Is that unusual? James nodded. Very. Why? Because she hasn't left before midnight in 5 years. Where is she going? James smiled. Probably somewhere with Ryan. They were right. Ryan found Olivia waiting outside the base. Not in uniform. A simple coat. Her hair down. No commander expression. Just Olivia. You changed. She smiled. I wanted to. Why? Because today I realized something. What? For 5 years. I was your commander. She stepped closer. But I don't want you to only respect me. Ryan looked at her. What do you want? She answered softly. I want you to love me. Ryan smiled. I already do. She stopped. Even after hearing it, she still looked surprised. Really? Yes. Since when? He thought about it, then laughed. Probably the first day. The first day you gave me a coffee back. She frowned. That's it. No. He smiled. You looked at me like I was a person, and nobody else did. The evening wind passed between them. Olivia held his hand. This time, not as a commander, not as someone giving an order, just as a woman choosing someone. Ryan, yes, I have spent 5 years protecting everyone. She looked at him. Now, can I let you protect me? He squeezed her hand. Any time. And for the first time, Commander Olivia Carter allowed herself to stop being the strongest person in the room. Because she finally had someone who made being vulnerable feel safe. Commander Olivia Carter never got sick. At least that was what everyone believed. For 5 years, she had completed missions with injuries, worked through exhaustion, ignored fever, ignored pain. Her answer was always the same. I'm fine until that week. The first person who noticed was Ryan. Of course, he always noticed. During the morning briefing, Olivia was standing at the front of the room explaining the operation plan. Her voice was steady, her expression was calm. Everything looked normal except she turned a page too slowly and her hand trembled for half a second. Nobody saw except Ryan. After the meeting ended, everyone left. Ryan stayed. Olivia. She looked up. What? You're sick. No, you have a fever. No, you didn't eat breakfast. I was busy. Olivia. She stopped because only one person dared to say her name like that. Not as a subordinate. Not as a soldier. As someone who cared. I'm fine. Ryan sighed. You always say that because it's true. No. He stepped closer. It's what you say when you don't want anyone to worry. She looked away. That's not a problem. It is. Why? Because now someone is here who wants to worry. For a moment, Olivia didn't answer because nobody had ever said that. Everyone needed her to be strong. Nobody asked her to be cared for. That afternoon, Ryan canceled her remaining meetings. The entire base was shocked. Captain James nearly dropped his phone. Who canceled the commander's schedule? The assistant answered quietly. Ryan. James froze. Ryan. Yes. And she allowed it. The assistant nodded. She did. Everyone became silent because that was impossible. Inside Olivia's office. She sat on the sofa, a blanket around her shoulders. Ryan placed medicine and water in front of her. She looked annoyed. I can work. No. I have reports. No, I have a briefing tomorrow. No. She frowned. You are giving me orders. Ryan smiled. No, then I'm taking care of you. The sentence made her quiet. Ryan prepared soup. When he returned, he found Olivia staring at the bowl. What? She looked serious. I don't know how to do this. Do what? Be taken care of. Ryan smiled. You're doing fine. I'm not. Why? Because I feel. She searched for the word weak. Ryan sat beside her. Olivia. Do you think soldiers are weak when they need medical treatment? No. Then why do you think you are? She had no answer. You spent 5 years saving everyone. You protected your team. You carried every responsibility. He gently handed her the spoon. But even the strongest people need somewhere to rest. She looked at him quietly, then accepted the spoon. For anyone else, it would have been normal. For Olivia Carter, it was a miracle. The next morning, the entire base witnessed something impossible. Commander Carter walked into headquarters and Ryan was carrying her breakfast again. Captain James stared. She let him do that. A soldier nodded. Yes. She actually accepted help. Yes. James looked at the sky. I have seen everything. During lunch, a female soldier approached Olivia. Commander. Yes. Are you feeling better? Yes. The soldier smiled. Good, then hesitated. Can I ask something? Olivia nodded. What? How did Mr. Miller convince you to rest? Everyone nearby became interested. Olivia looked at Ryan, then answered honestly. He didn't convince me. The soldier blinked. Then Olivia smiled softly. He reminded me that I don't have to do everything alone. The answer spread quickly, not as gossip, but as something everyone admired. Because everyone had seen Olivia Carter as a commander. Nobody had seen her as a person except Ryan. That evening, Ryan walked her home. At the door, Olivia suddenly stopped. Ryan? Yes. Thank you. For what? For today. He smiled. You don't need to thank me. I do. Why? She looked at him. Because I realized something. What? For 5 years, I thought needing someone was a weakness. She smiled. But with you, it feels like trust. Ryan looked at her, then gently touched her hair. I'm glad. Why? Because I spent 5 years wanting you to stop carrying everything alone. Before he left, Olivia grabbed his hand. He turned. What? She hesitated, then quietly said, Stay. Ryan smiled. Okay. Tonight. Tonight. She looked relieved. Good. The next morning, the soldiers discovered another unbelievable fact. Commander Carter had changed her schedule. The reason? A simple note written by Ryan. Commander needs 8 hours of sleep. Signed. Ryan Miller. Everyone stared. Captain James laughed. The only person in the world who can give the commander an order. The soldier beside him finished. Is the man she loves. That evening, Ryan asked her. Are you still planning to resign? She was quiet, then shook her head. No. Why? She looked at him. Because I finally understand. Understand what? She smiled. I wasn't trying to leave this place. I was trying to find a place where I belonged. She held his hand. And I found it. Ryan smiled. Where? She leaned closer. Beside you for 5 years. Ryan had been the person standing behind Commander Carter. Now he was finally the person standing beside Olivia. The mission order arrived on Monday morning. A classified operation, high risk, 7 days, possibly longer. Ryan read the file quietly, then closed it. Everyone in the unit knew what that meant. Ryan was going back into the field just like before. The same missions, the same danger, the same possibility that someone might not return. Captain James noticed his expression. You accepted? Ryan nodded. It's my responsibility. James was silent. Then asked, Did you tell her? Ryan didn't answer. He didn't need to because everyone knew. The hardest conversation wouldn't be with the enemy. It would be with Olivia. That evening, Ryan found her in the command room, exactly where she always was, working, planning, pretending nothing could shake her. Olivia, she looked up. You know, Ryan stopped. Know what? The mission. He was surprised. Yes. When this afternoon, she nodded. Good. That was all. Too calm. Too normal. Ryan immediately knew something was wrong. Olivia. You aren't angry. No, you're not worried. No, you're not going to tell me not to go. She looked at him. No. Ryan became quiet because this wasn't Olivia, not the woman he knew. Why? She looked down at the documents. Because I am your commander. There it was. The wall, the distance, the old Olivia. Ryan walked closer. Not now. She looked up. What? Don't become my commander when you're scared. Her expression changed. I am not scared. Yes, you are. Silence. For 5 years. Ryan had never challenged her like this. But now he knew her too well. You always do this. Do what? You hide behind your rank. She looked away. Because it works. No. He shook his head. It worked before. Before what? Before you had someone who knew you. Her eyes trembled slightly. The next morning, Ryan prepared to leave. The entire unit gathered. Everyone was silent. Olivia stood at the front. As commander. Perfect posture, cold expression. Mission success is the priority. Return safely. Dismissed. Ryan looked at her. That was it. After everything, just orders. He turned away. Then Ryan, he stopped. Everyone froze. Because she had called his name, not his rank, not his position, his name. Olivia walked toward him. Slowly. Everyone watched. The commander, the woman who never showed weakness, standing in front of everyone. Come back. Ryan looked at her. I will. No. She shook her head. I need you to understand. Her voice became softer. I'm not saying this as your commander. The entire area became silent. I'm saying this as Olivia. Ryan didn't move. She took a breath. I have spent my entire life believing I could handle everything alone. I believed needing someone meant losing control. Her eyes became slightly red. But then you left even before you actually left. I felt the difference. She looked at him. I don't need my best soldier to come back. I don't need my most reliable partner. I need you. Nobody spoke. Not a single person. Because nobody had ever heard Commander Carter say those words. Ryan stepped closer. Olivia. She looked at him. I promise I'll come back, but when I return, I need to ask you something. She frowned. What? He smiled. You'll know. The mission began. The first 3 days went smoothly. Then came the unexpected. The team lost communication for 12 hours. 12 hours. For anyone else, it was just a situation. For Olivia, it was unbearable. The command center was silent. Everyone worked, tracking, analyzing, waiting. Olivia stood in front of the screen. No one had ever seen her like this. Not cold, not calm, just human. Captain James approached. Commander, no response. Olivia, she looked at him. Any news? Not yet. She closed her eyes. For a moment, everyone thought she would break. But she didn't. She simply whispered, come back. Because for 5 years, Ryan had always told her, I'll be here. Now it was her turn to say it. 20 hours later, the signal returned. The mission succeeded. The team was safe. Ryan was safe. When he returned to base, everyone expected a formal welcome. Instead, they saw something impossible. Olivia ran, not walked, ran. Ryan barely had time to put down his equipment. She reached him, grabbed his uniform, and hugged him in front of everyone. No hesitation, no concern about appearances, no commander, just Olivia. Ryan froze, then smiled. Commander, she immediately interrupted. Don't. He laughed softly. Olivia. She held him tighter. I was scared. The words were quiet, but everyone heard. Ryan gently held her. I'm here. I know. Then why are you still holding me? She didn't answer immediately, then whispered. Because I don't want to lose the person who made me realize I don't have to be alone. That night, Ryan walked Olivia home. At the door. She stopped him. Ryan. Yes. You said you had something to ask me. He smiled. Not yet. Why? Because I want to do it properly. She looked at him. Do what? Ryan smiled. Give you the choice you never gave yourself. The next morning, Ryan requested 1 day off. Everyone was confused. Captain James asked, Where are you going? Ryan smiled. To prepare for what? He looked toward Olivia's office. To ask the woman who spent 5 years protecting me if she'll let me protect her for the rest of her life. Ryan had planned many missions in his life. Some lasted days, some lasted months. Some decided whether people lived or died. But none had made him as nervous as this one. His mission asked Olivia Carter to marry him. Captain James found out first, of course, because Ryan was terrible at keeping secrets. He walked into the preparation room and froze. What is this? Ryan looked up. Nothing. James looked around. Flowers. A small box. A handwritten letter. He stared. Nothing. Ryan smiled. Nothing important. James picked up the ring box. You're proposing. Ryan took it back quickly. Careful. James laughed. The man who walked into enemy territory without hesitation is scared of one woman? Ryan smiled. Yes. Why? Because she is the only person whose answer matters. The location was simple. Not a luxury restaurant, not a 5-star hotel, not a place full of cameras. It was the old training field, the place where Ryan first met Olivia. 5 years ago, he was a new recruit. She was the untouchable commander. They stood on opposite sides. Now, they stood together. When Olivia arrived, she looked confused. "Ryan?" He smiled. "Hi, why are we here? Do you remember this place?" She looked around. "The first training field?" "Yes, you failed my first evaluation." Ryan laughed. "I didn't fail. You did. You gave me 89 points. Because you ignored orders because I saved another soldier." She was quiet, then smiled. "I know." Ryan looked surprised. "You knew." "I knew everything about you." He smiled. "Even back then?" She nodded. "Especially back then, the sunset covered the field in gold." Ryan took a breath. "Olivia." She looked at him. "Yes. For 5 years. I called you commander because I respected you. Because I admired you. Because you were the strongest person I had ever met." He stepped closer. "But somewhere along the way, you stopped being only my commander. You became the person I looked for first. The person I wanted to tell things to, the person I wanted to protect." Olivia's eyes slowly became wet. Ryan continued, "I once told you I wanted to leave to find a wife." She smiled faintly. "I remember. I thought I needed someone who would choose me." He looked at her. "Then I realized you had been choosing me all along." He lowered himself onto one knee. Olivia stopped breathing. "Olivia Carter, the woman who taught me courage, the woman who taught me discipline. The woman who taught me what strength means, but also the woman who taught me that even the strongest people deserve someone to come home to." He opened the ring box. "Will you marry me?" For several seconds, Olivia didn't answer. Ryan became nervous. "Olivia." She looked at him, then suddenly laughed through tears. "You really are unfair." Ryan blinked. "Why?" Because she wiped her eyes. "I spent 5 years making soldiers follow my orders." And now she smiled. "I can't even make myself say no." Ryan laughed. "Is that a yes?" She looked at him. "No." His expression changed. Then she smiled. "It's more than yes." She reached down, pulled him up. "I choose you." She held his hands. "Not because you are my best soldier. Not because you protect me. Not because you understand me better than anyone." She looked directly into his eyes. "I choose you because when I am with you, I don't have to be Commander Carter. I can just be Olivia." Ryan placed the ring on her finger. It fit perfectly. Later that night, the entire base received the news. Not through official channels, through Captain James, who sent one message to everyone. Commander Carter said yes. The response was immediate. Hundreds of messages. Congratulations. Celebrations, jokes. One soldier wrote, "I can't believe Ryan finally won." Another replied, "Wrong. Commander Carter finally admitted she lost." The next morning, Olivia walked into headquarters. Everyone stood straighter. "Good morning, Commander." She nodded, then looked around. "Relax." Everyone froze. "Relax," the commander said. "Relax." Then Ryan walked in behind her holding 2 coffees, one for himself, one for her. Captain James smiled. "Still doing that?" Ryan looked confused. "What?" "Taking care of her." Ryan smiled. "Always." Olivia looked at him, then corrected. "And I take care of him too." Everyone became silent because that was new. For years, Ryan had been the one behind her. The one supporting, the one protecting. Now she finally said it openly. They protected each other. That evening, Ryan and Olivia sat outside the base. Quiet, peaceful, something rare in their lives. Olivia looked at the ring. "I used to think marriage was a distraction." Ryan smiled. "And now I think." She leaned against him. "It is the only mission I never want to complete alone." Ryan held her hand. "You know something?" "What?" "I never actually wanted to find someone else." She looked at him. "Then why did you say you wanted a wife?" He smiled. "Because I wanted you to realize that I couldn't wait forever." She nodded. "I know. Are you angry?" "No." "Why?" She looked at him. "Because if you hadn't left, I might have spent another 5 years pretending." The sunset disappeared. The lights of the base slowly turned on. 2 people who spent years fighting battles finally won the most important one. Not against an enemy. Not against a mission, but against the fear of admitting they needed each other. 1 month later, the invitations were sent. The strongest female commander in the division was getting married, and everyone knew one thing. The man standing beside her was never just her soldier. He was the person she chose. Captain James stood near the entrance, looking around, still unable to believe this day had arrived. The woman who once made an entire unit afraid to make mistakes was getting married. And the man standing beside her was the only person who had ever made her smile without trying. A young soldier walked over. Captain James looked at him. "What? Do you think Commander Carter changed?" James smiled. He looked toward the ceremony hall. "No." The soldier was confused. "No." James shook his head. "She didn't change." "Then what happened?" He smiled. "Someone finally gave her permission to be herself." Inside the ceremony hall, Ryan waited. He wore a formal military uniform. Not because he had to, because Olivia once told him, "You look most like yourself when you're wearing it." He touched the ring in his pocket. Still nervous. Still unable to believe this was real. A soldier beside him laughed. "Ryan, you look more nervous than before your first mission." Ryan smiled. "That mission only decided whether I survived. And this?" He looked toward the entrance. "This decides the rest of my life." The music began. Everyone stood, the doors opened, and Olivia walked in. For a moment, nobody recognized her. Not because she looked different, but because she looked peaceful. No cold expression, no commander's mask, no distance, just Olivia, the woman Ryan had known all along. When she reached him, Ryan smiled. "You came?" She raised an eyebrow. "I almost didn't." His expression changed. Then she smiled. "Because I wanted you to know I was never running away. I was choosing you." The ceremony began. The officiant smiled. "Today we celebrate two people who spent 5 years protecting others but forgot one important thing." "What?" "That they also deserve to be protected." Everyone smiled. When it was Ryan's turn to speak, he looked at Olivia 5 years ago. "I stood behind you. Not because I was below you, but because I respected you. Because I believed in you, because I wanted to be the person you could rely on." He smiled. "But I never imagined that one day you would become the person I rely on, too." Olivia's eyes became emotional. Ryan continued, "You taught me what strength looks like, but you also taught me something more important. That even the strongest person in the world needs somewhere to rest." He held her hand. "And I promise from today forward, you never have to carry everything alone again." When it was Olivia's turn, she was quiet for a long time. Everyone waited because Olivia Carter always knew what to say. But today, she wasn't speaking as Commander Carter. She was speaking as Olivia. "Ryan. 5 years ago, I thought you were my soldier, my responsibility, the person assigned to stand beside me." She smiled softly. "I was wrong. You were never assigned to me. You chose me." Her voice became softer. "You saw me when everyone else saw my rank. You worried about me when everyone else needed me to be strong. You stayed even when I gave you every reason to leave." She looked directly into his eyes. "And the truth is, I didn't ask you to stay because I needed a soldier. I asked you to stay because I needed you." The entire room became silent because everyone knew. Those 3 words were harder for Olivia to say than any command she had ever given. "I spent my whole life believing love was a weakness. But you showed me love is the one thing that makes us stronger." She smiled. "So today I choose you not as my soldier, not as my partner, but as the person I want beside me forever." The rings were exchanged, the vows were complete. And finally the woman everyone called the ice-cold commander became Ryan's wife. After the ceremony, the soldiers gathered around them. Captain James raised a glass. "I have a question." Ryan laughed. "What? Are you still going to call her commander?" Ryan looked at Olivia. She raised an eyebrow. "Good question." Everyone waited. Ryan smiled. "Sometimes." Olivia narrowed her eyes. "Sometimes?" "Yes." "When?" "When she's giving me orders. And when I'm not." He stepped closer. "Then she's Olivia." Everyone laughed. Later that night, after everyone left, Ryan and Olivia stood outside their new home. A small house near the base. Nothing luxurious, nothing impressive, just theirs. Olivia looked at the house quietly. "Is this what you wanted?" Ryan nodded. "Yes." "No mansion?" No. No private island? No. She looked at him. Why? He smiled. Because I spent 5 years standing outside your office. 5 years waiting. 5 years following your schedule. He held her hand. I don't want a place that proves we're important. I want a place where we can be normal. Olivia smiled. Normal. Yes. Do you know something? What? I never thought I would want that. And now she leaned against him. Now I think normal sounds perfect. The next morning, the entire base witnessed another impossible scene. Commander Carter arrived late again. Captain James checked the time. Impossible. A soldier looked confused. What? Commander Carter is late. Then Ryan's car arrived. Olivia stepped out. Everyone immediately understood. Ryan walked around and opened the door just like he had done for 5 years. Except now it was different. Olivia stopped him. Ryan. Yes. You know you don't have to do this anymore. He smiled. I know. Then why? He looked at her. Because I want to, she smiled, then quietly took his hand. This time, she walked beside him. Not ahead, not behind, beside. Years later, new soldiers would still hear the story. The story of Commander Olivia Carter, the strongest woman in the division, and Ryan Miller, the man who served beside her for 5 years. Everyone thought he was just her soldier. Then they thought he was just her partner, but they were wrong. He was the person who knew her before the world did. The person who stayed when everyone else left. The person who made the ice-cold commander finally understand strength is not carrying everything alone. Sometimes strength is having someone you trust enough to hold your hand. And whenever someone asked Olivia why him, she always gave the same answer. Because he was the only person who never asked me to be stronger. He only asked me to be myself. That's all for today. Remember to subscribe and support us.